Also, we're recording.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Waku, and I'm very thankful for the team, Real Farm and the food group to having me tonight to present some crop plannings, right? And I'll do my best. And as you may know, I'm a former program participant as well. I have been farming at the Big Farm for 4 years before leaving to do my own operation. So thank you very much for taking your time and attending this class, and I will present about some biography about myself and what motivated for me to start organic farming, and conclude about crop plannings, about what are some strategy and what I might usually do after season and what plan for next season. And I will open for question as well. So let's start it about my business. The names come out because I live in Twin City, so that keep easy as Twin City Green Farms. The green is about renewable or sustainable, so I choose as green because green is renewable, sustainable practices, techniques about organic farming. And the name come out as I live in Twin City and just combine Twin City plus green and Twin City Green Farm. And this the story about myself. I have been working for a nonprofit over the last 14 years with the Markham Partnership, but I always love growing produce in my backyard, and I decided to join the organic training program, saying similar as you are tonight, and continue the organic farming program and be at the program as you. So my business started in 2018, joining the program, come to classes twice a week as you guys here. And I also have former farming experience in Thailand as well, because in Thailand, I learned about effective microorganism, the EN1. And I also learned about conventional using chemical fertilizer, pesticide as well, but I don't think that is a good practice because we are farmer and we are the first and exposed to chemical if you use conventional techniques for farming. That's why I learned about Thai organic practicing techniques using effective microorganism. This is just some sustain and they comply as organically. And you can purchase the EN1 online when you search about effective microorganism, learn more about how they use in farming, use in livestock, use for treatment, for rest treatment. So you can use for many things. And I also completely produce safety alliance rule or training as well, and the USDA organic certification guideline, which means to become a certified, you have to follow to USDA guideline to MICA or Minnesota Crop Improvement Association. They have to go through your record and you have to comply in order for them to grant it certificate for your produce. So I have been doing that for 3 years under being Real Farm as you guys, and the independence apply for independence certification for 1 year and before I leave the program. And as right now, I will be a co-founder of the WAS Organic, because one of my friends really passionate about helping farmers, and I also have experience about farming. So that's why we come out with the idea about why not we found a company and help the farmer to provide them with fertilizer, with the consultations on soil health, crop nutrients, and how to start small scale profitable organic farming. So that's why we come out with the company as the WAS Organic Fertilizer. And this is my first started. When I started, I really worried about eating healthy. That is my vision. So my very early business vision is being healthy is very important. So my vision is being healthy is very important to us, the corporation or the business. And we visualize the improvements of people's health by providing them with quality organic grown vegetable at affordable price and everyone can buy it. And our mission is to improve people's health because we grow food, right? And to preserve natural resources by growing vegetables organically while reducing the impact of surrounding environment. So my business name is Ingrained, so that's why when we do business, we really want to consider about what is the minimum impact of the surrounding environment. And this is a new version, so I'm considering Green Farm because I changed my vision a little bit about how to make a bigger impact, such as to help new grower to learn the skill and to go for organically. So I be co-founders of the Oak Grass Organic, and I revised my farm business as considered Green Farm's vision is to fight for organic or natural grown food equity. Every family should have access to organic or natural grown food regardless of their socioeconomic status, colors of skin, or cultural background. Because as right now we can see organic produce quite pricey, quite expensive, and only higher class can buy those produce. But my vision is about how we try to have more people know to go for organically or be certified, and we can produce more organic food, and everyone can buy it regardless of their status. To accomplish these visions, then to celebrate achieve these visions by working with minority farmers to grow food organically or naturally by providing them with trainings on soil health, sustainable farming practices, and supplying them with organic or natural mixed fertilizer. So that's my new version, or as current version. I will talk about some things about myself first before transitioning into crop planning section, okay? And why work business, as I do research before going into farming business, they always have core values. Core value is something that really focus on what really drive the business success. So I have a core values on customer first, or quality products, or lifelong relationship, which means focus on quality or focus on customers. Whenever they talk about your service or your products, and always listen, because those are people who are giving the money, bring you some very value or add values to your company, as there will be a lifelong relationship, and focus on your quality. Once they know you have very good quality produce or products, and they will come back after they use your produce, they will come back. So one of the core value is customers and also quality of produce, as long as the lifelong relationship, not just one time deal and done, and later on they will not come to your booth. So, and the second one is I do have my internal business operation principle. Always consider safety first, because it's costly if something's going wrong, and always think about safety. It will even feel even your customer or your operation always think about safety. And cost effective, which means when you do something, you have to measure is about the overhead cost and how you will reduce overhead costs and make a more profit margin. And preserving the environment, which is about, according to the early version as Going Green, then you will have to do something that have a very minimum impact the surrounding environment. And retain customer value, listen to about what they talk about. For example, I go to farm markets and they will say, your tray produced too large, probably why not doing a smaller tray and sell a lower or a different price than large volume of full tray, $5, probably three zucchini or 2 zucchini, and $3 is better than a full tray and $5 in American family. Business like an Asian family, right? They don't have that much consuming per week, and only a small amount per week, and think about what your customers say about the best way, and that's your market. And I always like to support community as well. Whenever I have access to produce, I can donate to local organization or food shelf as well. So the business platform, I have 3 platforms or 3 tiers. So the first tier is get into education as you guide and learn the basics of farming operation, get a certification. And second tier is about acquire a land, right? And have your own farming computer. If my version is to help people go more farmer, then I will just replicate Spinreel Farms model, right? Have my facility, have an access facility, and have people come over and I do marketing for them. So that's the second tier. And the third tier is connecting over to larger home seller. So that's why I do have my vision as operating in 3 tiers. Also have some financial management as well, because each year you have to budgeting about what is your revenue projection, think about how many contracts you would like to go for. And that's why at the end of the year, I always review my financial plans about how many contracts I would like to make or sign a contract for going the upcoming growing season. So think about that as well, and how much money you will spend toward equipment, toward seeds, toward marketing. And so you have to budgeting your finance as well as projecting your revenue for the year. Don't afraid to dream big. The very early of the years, I always put the number on my wall, right? I was 40K, I put 40K. I want 100K, I don't afraid to put 100K. So the high power will help you. One example in 2021, right? We encountered the pandemic, we have market losses for farmer market, but we do have contract for the release program to other widely organization. And I can sell my produce to different organizations. They also help me. And I put a big numbers on my project. I reach my goal as well. So that's why whenever you have your internal mindset and just set for something that is achievable, don't be afraid to put a reasonable number and just work hard. The high power will drive how you go do that one. So record keeping keeps all your record according to the organic certification guideline as well as your expense, because the year end you will use those records that those expense records to do your tax refund and your tax deduction, and as well as to calculate about what you really want to do for next year and what's the crop that really make the most profit or least profits. So the record will tell you about it. Expense and revenue, I already talked about that, about don't afraid to put a big number and work hard. So, and it's about some crop or field management. Think about how many people will help you work on your farm, how much time. I would say start with small. Some successful is start with small. Once you have the skill, once you have the customer and you work confidence to sign for contract, and you will increase your field into more acre. And think about who can help you, who will be included in your farm team, your spouse, your brother, your sister, or your kids. If you marry, you have kids, think about who can help you. So I got married, my wife helped me, my son, my 3 10X son helped me. So that's why we were able to manage under 4 acres. But when I first started, I would do 1/4 acre, start very small. Second year, 1 acre. Later on, 3rd year, only 2 acres. So start with small incremental. Later on, you have market and you have the skill. So crop planning, crop types. Crop type is about crop planning, is about who are your customer, who are your market. So that's really determines about what you plan to grow. And having field and greenhouse plan, always what we will talk about later on about we plan to grow for next season is very important because the game plan is will help you to plan because when you get into the season is quite very busy. You cannot go back and forth because you have to rely on your plan. Otherwise, it will be overwhelming. You marketing, you go to farm market, you plant the crop, you harvest, and you also have record keeping is very overwhelming. So if you have good plan and later on, just check your plan about what you plan to go in that particular month and review your contract and plan according to your contract. A greenhouse plan is also important because you don't want to spend high budget on ordering seed and you don't use those seed. So only according to your land, according to how much seed you really need for your crop plan or map. Technology, I like technology because nowadays without technology, you couldn't be efficient because you really need to be very efficient. So that's why I always look for efficient ways to improve the farm operation. Looking for equipment, looking for example, cultivator, wall behind cultivator, water timer to help you manage, and you don't have to go and turn on the water for your field. And that's also including frame beater, cultivator, plastic mulch. This is just some example. You have to do your own research about what is very good for you. Sometimes some equipment work very best for me, but doesn't work for you, or you don't like to use it. So just try, and if you like it, or you experience with your farm teams or other farmer, and to see if you like it before you invest money to buy it. Because I have invested so much money and buy some particular equipment, and I don't really use it. For example, the tilter, right? Tilter is good for a greenhouse, but if you do a large field, is not very efficient. It's very small, unique, and you can use for 4 bed or 6 bed in a greenhouse 30" by 100 feet long, but not very effective for 145 feet long, 3 feet wide. So it doesn't work in that way because they only use power gel to drive the tilter. So, and that's why I really want you to explain about what really matter about investing for a new tool or new equipment. The flame weaver, the flame beater is good for somebody, and I also have that one as well. But once I bought it, I experienced it. I don't like it because when you burn and the winds brew, and the flame not really focus on what you brew because I don't care. And they say once you see it and you frame, then you can compare with the weed, but I don't know, it doesn't work for me either. And now I still just heavy hanging on my story. So, okay, this is the very important part as well. This is marketing, right? Knowing who are your customer. As I talked earlier about market is different one market to another because they have different customer. So when you do research about marketing, it's better to go in person and observe about what the vendor have in the morning, what those residents in that area really buy, and you want to know about, okay, if I go apply for this market, this is the produce I really need to go for this market, be specific on that market. So I also encourage you to do more research and have more than one market outlet because farming is the good thing. If you have multiple market streams, is good because you have something bring to the farm market. You also have your own contract, or you also run your internal CSA program. So have many different market. That's very helpful because you plan and while we're left, just bring to farm market. Otherwise, you already have contract and you don't worry about if raining, if thunderstorm, and if they cancel farm market, how I will sell my produce. if you only have one farm market outlet, then later on, if they cancel market, you may just bring to food shop or donate to other organizations. So think about your variety of market. So I do have farmer market. I also have contract with the food group, with the Good Acre, and also restaurant as well when I do my farming. So knowing your market demand crops, that's what I talk about, knowing about what your customer is looking for in Hmong town, in Hmong village, wherever, focus about, we want just focus on boxes sell to retailer or be a vendor at the Hmong town market. And if you know the market and you want to go that type of crops. Pricing your produce, because it depends, because some market you can be competitive. Some market, if you go organic and you go to the wrong what I mean is go to the community that they don't really know much about the values of organic, then you may not be able to sell high price. That's what I encounter. So think about a market that have a vision and very support organic farmer. For in that particular market, and they don't mind about price. Price not a problem. Even wild price, you can say $2 higher than regular produce. There's still no question about it. So that's why knowing your market and knowing your customer who really values about organic farmer. Pricing, we worry over the pricing or marketing. This is a very important piece as well. So marketing could be, you can advertise to Facebook, to word of the mouth, or links to produce on Instagram as well, because when you have follower and you announce about, okay, this week you have this produce from what you keep well, and they already know and they will come to support you. So be active when you have your own Facebook page about your business, and just think about, okay, this week we will go to this market and what we have is and they will come to support you. So now we will move to tonight's core as effective crop planning. So first of all, if you have contract, you really want to understand the crop types, the volumes, and you will deliver in that particular day. For example, if you have contract to deliver 500 bunches of Nutrisol and no for sure about by June 20. So this is a big piece of information because you will determine about knowing about the type of crop exactly, because Nutrisol and the widely you will need to know about how many plot, how many bed, or how many row that you can grow in order to accomplish the 500 bunches. So typically, if you do for 1 or 2 years and you have some basic knowledge about, okay, one bed, 4 rows, I will be able to harvest at least 20 bunches of Nutrisol. You have that general idea, then you will plan about, okay, 500 bunches, and I will plan for 4 bed. So you have to identify your plot and know exactly about the length of your land as well. Because according to the organic guideline, and you have to have your plot number. So that's why I really want to pinpoint about where you want to plant your Nutrisol. And this is the example. So I determined that I will plant on N1, each N1 and 3 bed. 1 bed I will plant 4 rows, and the length is about 145 feet long. So once I know that one, the crop projection, as I mentioned, 1 bed I will harvest about 200 bunches. Then I have to determine spacing, crop spacing as well. So according to the package or the seed catalogs, they will tell you about Nutrisol is about 15.6 per feet, or about 2 to 3 inches per plant. So I use that calculation And the catalog will say, according to what they know is 1 pound is equal about 200,000 seeds. So 20 M is 20,000 seeds. So use that as calculation. Then I calculate about, okay, the length of the plot is 145. And if I multiply by 12, that's 12 inch, and that will be 1,740 inch. So I use that divided by 2 inches. So each row will use about 876 per row. So row spacing is 12 to 18 inch. So then I calculate about 3 bed or 4 bed. So I just use this. 4 bed is 12 rows, and I use this number as 876 times by 12 rows. Then it's about a little bit over 10,000 seeds. So according to the catalog, 1 pound is 20,000 seeds. Then I use 20,000 seeds divided by 16, that is 16 ohms, and equal about 12,506. And I just routing it into half house. So according to this crop plan, I will order about quarter pounds of Nutrisol for 4 beds and to harvest for 500 bunches. So does that make sense? Any questions? Yeah. Just stop me or raise hand because I speak quite fast and yes.
Do you plan for seeds that don't germinate at all, or do you expect that all the seeds that you plant will grow?
It's a good question. There are a couple of factors, and we do have crop here as well. So the germination, technically from the seeds carrier, they will tell us about the germination rate is about 98% or 95%. But the other factors such as the environment, the weather can contribute to some germination problem, such as too dry, so drought, no rain, no water, they could be affected as well. Or a feed beetle problem as well, because if you go early, sometimes when the seeds germinate and the feed beetle just attach and you can lose the whole field as well. So if you try some, I would recommend you for not early season at the beginning farm particularly, because for you don't have to worry after July or August, it'll be very beautiful. You don't have to concern about feed beetle. But early, I would do lettuce because nothing's like a lettuce, I think. So most of the time, if you grow lettuce or salad mix in spring or summer, it's good. But for Asian green, you try some Austin green, I would recommend for crops perform better. Any other question before we move on? Okay. This is my Nutrisol. Looks beautiful, right? This is my fall season. So this is an example I don't do because sometimes you think about bed, right? Bed is about permanent. If you do no-till, I would recommend 30 inch by 50 or 100 feet long. That is our standard of market gardening method. 30 inch wide and 100 feet long. There's a permanent, and you can grow about 3 rows or 4 rows for 1 bed. But when you do a larger operation, and you don't really have time to create bed, right? Because it's less of time. So why not you just put the strings over very straight? Then you do this. I use the J33. It has 3 hopper, and I just don't fill in the middle hopper. I just do the other 2. There is about 16 apart. So you have a straight line over there, then you just go straight and it plans to roll. And later on, you just estimate about 16 inch away and you just do another round. So it will create very beautiful roll like this. So I use a JP3, but only do the other two hopper and not the middle one. Yes, the reason we do straight roll like this because when you cultivate it's easy. You can use walk behind cultivator or you can use well holes and it will be very efficient. You just walk and it help you cultivate and terminate the weeks. After 1 or 2 weeks and you cultivate, then it will be beautiful like this. But understand about if you do leading grain, you will use a lot of water, quite a lot of water. You have to have enough water to do overhead sprinkler. If a drip line is not quite very helpful because leading grain really need water. So once you harvest, just pack, just a bundle, you put into boxes and you just deliver. Whatever the seed pack, they will tell you the detail. Date to maturity is very important because if you don't really know about date to maturity, then you don't really know about how to plan for your crop because the date to maturity, if there are two things to consider. The first one, if you do direct seed, they would think about after the germination and come out to leaf. Then from to leaf into harvest. So that is about 42 days. But if any plants about transplant, they count once you transplant to the next harvest. So that is the date of maturity, date to maturity. For direct seed, after 2 leaf, and they will count to the date of harvest. For transplant, then after transplant, they will count toward the harvest date. So understand that and you will use this factor to calculate about when you should start your seed or solve your try some. So based on early cases, example, the expectation for delivery is June 20. So according to the seed package, the dates to maturity is 42. But from to leaf, it takes about maybe 7 days or 10 days. So that's I use about 7 to 10 days to determine about date to maturity is about after germination and the perhaps to leaf. There's already about 10 days. So after 10 days plus another 42, then is about close to 50 days. So expectation delivery is 620 and cross maturity is about 42. Then another 7 days from you sow and germination and plus 2 days. So total is about once you start sitting on the ground to the day you harvest is about 50 days. So you will use that to calculate about okay if I would like to plant you trace on for June 20, I will have to start May 1st. So I will use the spreadsheet to show you about how you calculate this. Let's see if I can open. I will use spreadsheet to do how to show them about how I do it. Yes. Can do.
Pause the video real quick. Yeah.
Use it to do my crop planning. I think most of you may know how to use Excel spreadsheet, but if you don't know, I can show you how you would subtract the 10 days from 2020. So you click on any cell. The first row is crop name, the amount due. Here. So this is the crop name, amounts due, contract, who is your buyer, delivery dates, crop map, and planting dates, harvest date, and seed order. So you can modify, you can do whatever, but this is what I do. So when you started, you know exactly your delivery date. You just click on the specs that delivery date, right? That is June 20. And you go to, I don't know, to this function, they say the functions, fx. You go to this function and you select date. You select date. Or you select, let me see, there's no date, but let me do one more time. Date. Just cancel it.
Okay.
Oh, do it.
Let me see.
Typically. Okay, yep. So start one more time. You just click on your delivery date. I will do one more time. For example, if I delete this, okay. Okay. Okay, click under delivery date, then you go to function, you just click on function, it will come this box. So just say okay, then it will come out here. And you tell us the contract is this year, 2023. The month is June. And the day is June 20, your delivery date is due by June 20. And you click OK. So I'm here, you know about, because you know about the DTM, right? Need to make sure it is 50 days. Then you just do subtract by 50, minus 50, and enter. Then you got May 1st. So I use this to help my plan about, I don't have to count my finger back and forth. I just do I know exactly the maturity date. Then I put maturity date. I know about maturity date is 50 days. Then I just put my cursor in here. I go to function and select date. Then just type the information. Yeah, just go to date. Then say okay. Then 2023. Yeah, and delivery due date is June. The month is June, and the day is 20. Yeah, then say okay, and you know about okay. You subtract about 50 days from June 20. So my last 50 days, and you enter. You got the crop planting date exactly the saw date in here. It doesn't have to be exactly. You can do May 1st, May 2nd, but at least just a few days different from exact date is okay. But this give you the general ideas about you don't have to forget about too far away from or be very late or too early. So this is the crop planning, but if you do a little bit late and close to that time, the contractor will give you a call. The buyer will give you a call about what's your crop, how it performed. They'll check with you about it. Can you try deliver in this way or not? And you can say, okay, it's ready. Or if delay, you may say not quite ready. It may be 1 week delay. So they will allow to put your crop in another schedule. Or if you do quite early, then you may say, oh, I plant my crop and my variety is different from early version. And my crop will be come out with it 1 week early. So they will allow to put your delivery date in 1 week early. So just work around with your contract buyer. Any question on this? This is play around, yeah.
Do you ever overestimate how much you plant, just in case some don't go well?
Yeah, because according to the plan, so 1 bag is 20 bunches, right? Then I just do a little bit, maybe 1 bag extra, just in case for crop failure or plant damage, whatever reason. Just do a little bit more. More is better than less, so do really over. Anything else? Ask question. Okay. Probably we can take a break before we move to the next one. Yeah. And I will be here for any question other than this presentation or one question. I still be here as well, but you take about 5 minute breaks to go to restaurant, check your phone, grab some food, then we can continue. Here is but you may think about, okay, how many contract for you try song, what is your other market as well, and you will add that into your crop planning worksheet.
Oh, it's not working.
Want to click back on the PowerPoint?
Oh, sorry. Now try?
Okay. So earlier we discussed about what is your exit plan after graduate. So it depends because as I mentioned earlier about when I initially started, I have my idea into doing farming business in 3-tier, acquire knowledge, learn marketing skill, branding, and doing something else after graduating. So this is my example of my transition plan, but just think about what is your future goal. Do you plan to buy land after graduating from the program? If that's the point, then you will really need to start working with the payment farm team about what other financial institutions such as USDA or Farm Service Agency or Compare Financial and really think about, okay, what will help you to build your financial record such as sales record and establish your credit. And later on, if you go to a fund loan and they will have you will have your financial record and you have substantial income from your farming business, that would make it easier for you to loan some money from a Compare or private bank. And this is what I have. So just think about knowing your farming goal, what you really want to accomplish in the future. And buying land, become a fund consultant, that's what I'm doing right now. Buying a job in farming industry, such as USDA, they also have job opening as well. They really want to have someone out there really have farming experience and be in the office to help people. So there could be something you just add value to yourself. You may do a certification training, food safety training, and later on you have enough information to teach our people and working with the government office to helping new farmer. And follow through your farming business plan. What you need to do to grow your farm business if you continue to do a larger scale? What agreements, what financial you will need to buy land, to buy equipment, to expand your business, expand your market. So how many market do you want to develop before leaving the program? So we'll be met to find contract, to develop relationship with local restaurants. So once you exit the program, you will be independent and you will be able to supply, produce your local home sale. And also think about how many acres of farmland you plan to purchase after graduating as well. To me, if I buy a land, and for myself to do farming and selling to local markets, I think 20 acres is enough because I only operate 5 acres a year. The rest do crop crop cover crop and do rotation, and I think five acres a year is enough. I will not do 10 acres as other traditional Hmong farmers they do. There's they still the land and they don't really do cover crop. So if I do buying farmland, and for operating and growing produce, I only take about 20 acres. That's enough. And studying, working with this, I already mentioned about sources of where to help you find money or finance to help you purchase your land. So what I know is fund service agency or Computer Financial, they do have a representative how you plan for your land buyer purchase plan as well. And there's something I would like to share with you, some tips for success. Keep going to classes, go to conference. So this one thing you will learn from this class as to the Big Runs training program, but 5 other classes as well, either do YouTube or go to medicines or vegetable production conference, or the Mobile 6 conference will coming in February. So those will very help you because you see other production, other techniques, other equipment. So I would really recommend if you really want to be successful, continue and attend conferences. Sometimes free for new beginner, for underrepresented farmer, you get scholarship. And they offer scholarship. Or even sometimes bigger farmers will have scholarship for you if you are a new program farmer and really want to go to conferences. Or even continue the online market gardener, online courses. So finding some finance and finding some scholarship and also get your knowledge to continue education. And as I mentioned earlier, don't start huge or many acres on land, start small. When I started, 1/4 acre first year, and slowly develop your technique, your growing skill, finding your customer, and it takes 1 to 3 years to really learn about growing skill and what you do, where you're doing well. So when I started, I do the Asian green, I try a couple of crops, I find local Asian restaurant, and I tried that one, but not quite working well. Then I look into other mainstream farmers market, and I can see about, okay, what market is right for me. Then the 3rd year, I extended into a home sale contract. So if you first started, don't do home sale contract because that is, you must be skillful and really know about exactly you can really fulfill the contract because you don't really want to damage your relationship at the very first year. You don't really know about how to plan, how to meet the produce requirements guidelines. So first year, go to farm market, learn marketing skill, because when you go to farm market, and don't go to a large farm market, go to little one, because larger farm market requirement, not requirement, but it take some time, it take 1 year, 2 years for you to get in because quite people light up or more competitors to get in. Go to a smaller one and not many vendors compete to get in, and you don't have that much crop to go every week as well. So you can choose to smaller one, or if you go to a busier one, go to part-time, once a month, twice a month instead of full-time and every weekend or every Saturday or Sunday. So when you have small, go small first, and you learn the skills about how to display your produce, how to engage the customer. So once you have that, and you also learn about farm markets, policy, regulation, and compliance, documentation. So once you learn this, you go to a busier one. It's easy because you already know about what paper is requirement. pretty much, farm market is pretty much the same, they follow the same regulation, or local guidance, so pretty much the same. For example, they may require you have your farm market insurance, or if you certify, you may have to provide your certification for the manager. And that's pretty much, and pay your fee and follow through their requirement. You cannot take out your tents. Even you sort out early, you have to wait until 1 o'clock and everyone will take out the tents. So to be successful, you have to know closing skill. Closing skill is very important because engaging. People like engaging, telling about, especially if it go Asian grade, right? Like you try some farm market, and if you market into mainstream, they may not really very much about. You try some, you may print out your recipe, you may tell them about, okay, this is how I prepare, and try this, cook in this way, similar to baby bok choy, but it's more delicious. It's so amazing. I introduced to King Phil. I bring 40 bunches and only 2 hours is gone. So, and once they know it, they will come every weekend. They will come back and they will ask about, you try this week, so you will be busy. So learning closing skills is the best, because whatever if you know how to grow and you cannot sell, then it doesn't make money. So the sales skill is not about sell, but it's about communicating. Internal contract is about communicating as well. So you will have to communicate to the contract buyer is about your class performance, or even ask about additional contract. Or if you have additional crop in other area, and you may ask about, okay, there's other people who fill their contract, I still have 20 cases of tomato, 20 cases cucumber, and they will help you to extend your market, or connection to other market. And next one is know your main cash crop, right? This is very important. So when you go to the market, or when you actually do a business, you want to know about what crops make the most money. And I don't put the rule 80-20 in here, but most of the time I use the 80-20 rule. What is the 20% crop that I plant and will bring 80% of revenue? And what other 80% of crop that only bring 20% of revenue? So if you know a field crop that really bring the highest money or value into your revenue, then think about that one. For example, I do have some example in here, as Asian grain is 50%, salad mix 20, cucumber 10, green beans 10%. So this is just some example, because market is different, and when you go into that market, you will know about, okay, what's the most valuable and high value crop. And you take that as your main cash crop. And also know about customer, as I mentioned earlier. So it's different if you go to Asian market and you bring mainstream produce, and Hmong people, Korean people, other ethnicities may not know how to eat kola, right? Or other grain that very popular in the mainstream market, but more people don't know how to cook it, and you may not be able to sell. But if you bring Oriental grain or Asian grain to mainstream market, you will have to introduce about how you cook it. Otherwise, they don't know how to cook it, they will not buy it. For example, sweet cabbage. So you bring to mainstream, some people already know about how to do stir fry, but not quite popular, and you have to introduce about the way to cook it. So I'm not saying about you cannot market, but you have to know about how to engage about this is you can do this, or you can cook in this way in order for them to help you. So this one is about thinking about CSA. I would recommend about if you do 1 or 2 acre, and if you do CSA, only have small share, because you may not be able to produce that much to fulfill 50 or 1 share. So on the 2 acre, I would say about 10, 15 share or 20 the most to be manageable about how we can go for your customer for 20 full share or 10 full share and 10 half share. So it depends, but for myself, I like to do contract for internal or anyone who do CSA, and I just contract for as early example to find a bunch of selling crop instead of you grow so many variety and you put in boxes. 20 share is each bar is one variety, and you have about 6 or 5 or 6 to 7 variety in one box, and it's a lot of work. So I for myself, I like contracting with people who run CSA, and I supply my produce for them to put into their boxes. But it's up to you because it depends. And because the advantage of CSA, they pay upfront, right? They pay upfront, and you guarantee have money to invest for your season. But the downside, think about you have enough funding to prep for your CSA, and you have enough land to fulfill the boxes for each week. So think about this factor. And when growing crop also consider all factors. For example, green bean is high value crop as well, right? $5 a pound, $6 a pound. But time consuming because you pick each pot and it takes time. So sometimes it's variable, sometimes but it takes more time to prep, right? Like a salad mix. It takes time to harvest, then you wash, then you put into the spinner, and then you dry, you prep. So high value crop, but sometimes it take time for you to prep to get ready because it's ready to consume and you have to prep very good and keep in good place. So maybe consider time consuming, harvest consuming time, or labor consuming, then may not be a good choice as well. Sometimes it's easy to just do something that not very high price, but easy. But it depends on your market. Yeah, that's pretty much about times, tools, post-harvest management and market. So some people, they just grow things that they like, but the market doesn't like. Learn about your market first and the variety as well. Tomato, but some variety customer doesn't like it. Like earlier, I don't know, I just looked the catalog at this time, it's beautiful, right? Amis Pass tomato, really beautiful. Last bucket to the market and not quite so well. So think about something that go well, like a big beef or some heirlooms or red tomato is much perform better than Amis Pass tomato. So that's my experience. But you don't really know until you experience and expect that you will run into something to go and maybe and us just donate to the food bank. So, but that's a learning curve. Yeah, this is pretty much for what I have for crop planning. So the one scenario I just used example of Asian green, you try some, but you can use that scenario or other example as you can use zucchini, cucumber as well. As long as you know about how many bags, calculate about cost spacing, then you know exactly how much seed you want to order. Then you can read the pack and determine the days to maturity and do the same about how many days you need to start it in the greenhouse. How many days you just do direct sowing on the field. So that is pretty much what I have for tonight. I will open for question. So any other question? Yes.
So it seems like crop planning is really determined based on your market. Because I don't have experience in this, I feel like January is done already and spring is gonna be right around the corner. And there's not a whole lot of time to learn about your market to develop those relationships. How would you advise us to learn about our market? What kind of strategies can we use to do that quickly and develop those relationships?
Yes. There are two things to consider. Right? If you go to Asia market, most of the time focus on Asian crop. And if you go to mainstream market, then I would say focus on mainstream crop wherever. So pretty much if you know, okay, what market you go, then you know pretty much about, okay, these populations, the most consuming vegetable will be in this variety. Just focus on that one. So next, think about your crop map. How many acre you plan to grow for the season? And in that many acre, how many acre for any particular crop? So you will know exactly about, okay, I would like to do 3 rows of a cucumber, 3 rows of tomato, 3 rows of bell pepper. Then you know exactly about your crop, your map, your plot and your map crop first. Then you'll be able to order the seed. So start from your mapping, then coming to specific about seed per bag, then because you don't really have the market to determine how much outcome or produce you will deliver or contract, and you don't have to worry that, but you just plan according to about how many bag or how many rows you want to plant for that season. Anything else? The more you ask, the more you get, okay? Keep asking, keep asking. So I try something works, something doesn't work, so many things, so ask many questions about tool, equipment, or other thing as well, so, yes.
What was your planning process when you were buying the land? Meaning locations, I mean, as far as the location, as far as where your market was, those kind of things. How did you plan and where did you plan?
Yeah, good question, because we rely on market. So first of all, think about what market you plan to attend as well to be a vendor, because they will consider 50 miles from where you operate your farm. So that's one consideration when buying land. So second factor is about soil. You have to learn about soil, what the soil structure is, sandy loam or just sand or clay. Clay not quite perform well because the water doesn't go through soaking well. If sand, if it doesn't hold water or doesn't hold moisture, so sandy loam is the best soil. And you may ask about collecting soil for the lab to do soil tests, and you really want to see is it worth it for me to invest in this piece of land for this much money, and you really want to know the quality of the land or the structure of the land first. And if you really take into the soil first, then think about soil structure and also your market access. As far as commuting, if you do a land that very far from your house and it's time killing, even I live in neighborhood in Toronto, you find is about 30-40 minutes already. So, and I do after work. I work full time and go to farming in after work. So it is time killing and you don't have that much time to travel, and it's a lot of time consuming. Think about something that you can either buy land and you can relocate closer to your land as well. Any other question?
Got a question, Maku? The
Yes.
first few years when you started, how did you start establishing those market relationships? Did you start with those direct markets, CSA farmers markets, and then grow to wholesale, or what was your strategy as you started?
Yeah, I start as go to farmer markets and I do approaching to local restaurant as well. Don't afraid to bring your produce with you and telling them about, okay, you are specialized in Asian grain. And I focus on long beans, also holly basil, because very popular kapow basil if they do Thai curry or we do kapow, and it's quite popular in Asian restaurant. If you go there, even you know your market, then just go that crops and bring it to the shelf and just talk about, okay, this is what I have. For example, if you do microgreen or salad mix, something like that, just approach restaurants, just tell them about you have this in every week, about this many per week, so they will tell you about what they want. So when I start, I just saw as Anthony just go become a vendor at a farm market. Then I approach restaurant. Then I just approach other contract buyer as big organization as the food group or the Good Acre and other local school as well, contract with school. Other question? Yeah.
So for restaurants, can you provide a little bit from the restaurant's perspective and engage with us? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, if they're a restaurant and they already exist, they probably have other farmers that they're working with already. So who am I to approach them and like, would they be receptive of something like me to approach them?
Because each person have different specialty. For example, I may have microgreen, other may have radishes or cucumber. So you can bring a list of what you have. You can bring a list of what you have and you may be able to supply every week. So just approach and just tell them about, okay, this is I'm growing organically and I'm a program of the Bigger Farm program. So I'm certified under Bigger Farm's organic training program. And this is what I have and I would like to approach to see if you can read some of my produce for your cooking recipe. So that's why I approach. That happens your whole list about what you have. Because what you have, other growers may not have, and what you specialize, other may not specialize. So don't afraid about other may already approach, and you have no market. Always have abundant market. If this market doesn't want to produce, continue searching for Asia, for example, right? St. Paul, I live in St. Paul, right? I live in old Asian restaurant. You have the whole list and you may not be able to hold itself for a restaurant, but you have 10, at least you have 5, you have 6 or better, but at least all the restaurant in that area. And you know about okay, this, then you just have phone number. Don't call because when you just call and then you just, maybe you will try to sell something, but simply bring your example of if you go something, just bring example. This is what I have. This is the part of certified produce, and I want you to use this the part of the cooking ingredient. If they say yes, then would you mind use it to see how you like it? And I have this, and you may have the price according to the price or I feel price, and you just show them because most of the time local business we want to support local farmers as well. So especially if you go organic, they even very care about organic growing as well.
So let's see if I understand what you're saying. So you're saying don't compete with like produce that they already have, but bring new produce to see if they can introduce it together.
You can bring the produce they already have as well, because what you have advantage because you grow organically and locally. Right now, people think most of the time people start thinking about how we can support each other locally. Even you have quality produce, a little bit higher price, they still be bound to pay you. They really want everyone to in the same community to be prosperity, to be very successful. And when you offer and you have good quality, most of the time they will say, okay, what I need is this amount every week. So that's I'm experienced. And sometimes Mike was all connecting. Whenever Mac was all connecting about okay, this restaurant I would like to see if you guys have this, then that is your job to contact. So I got a contact or got a link from Mac as well because whenever buyer contact and you have to approach and offer about what you have. Even through school contract or individual or events and they order, sometimes I just shoot email to everybody about do you have anything for this or for this producer or the cucumber to mix or whatever, and they will maybe will connect you, but you will show your produce and your products about how you deliver and close the deal. Other question? No more question? Then we are done. I turn over to Becca. Okay, thank you.